Okay. Um, there's not much to say at this point. I mean, there's a lot to say, but there's not much to say publicly. So the plan right now, all right, so I wrote this draft about the nature of mortality and aging. I'm pretty sure I figured it out on a philosophical, like fundamental layer, like the nature of life and why mortality exists and all that kind of stuff. So there's, I mean, I realize how it sounds to say it out loud, but it's not actually that complicated. Okay, so I wrote it down. I'll put a link to it in the description, whatever. Okay, but that's on like more of an esoteric philosophical layer. Then there's the practicalities of like, well, what do you do? Like, how do you turn that into action? And people were asking about that. So then I was like, well, I don't know if I can really come up with a plan because I've been trying to do that for a very long time. And it hasn't really happened. So then I don't know, some steps like started to materialize, and then so I've started to act on them. So I've took all the NHANES data, converted it into scatter plots. I now know I have like a library essentially of biomarkers that change with age and all the ones that don't change with age. Um, which is very interesting because there's actually a lot of things that just don't seem to change with age. And some of the things that you'd think are associated with aging are actually apparently not associated with aging. So for instance, clotho is obviously an aging protein. It's an aging gene. So associated with aging, and yet NHANES, when they measure clotho, there's no change with age. So that's very interesting. And there's more stuff like that where it's just like, oh, this thing does change with age. That's weird. And then this thing doesn't. That's really weird. Um, so that's part of it. Okay. So then the plan is still to cure menopause and all that kind of stuff. Um, but in order to get there, like aging and reproduction and just mortality in general and life and all that kind of stuff, that's all like tied into this big ball of mechanics surrounding physical continuity and biological immortality and all that kind of stuff. So it's and it's all complicated. And to be honest, like who am I, right? Like am I the guy that's going to figure it out? I don't know. I don't have the resource. I don't have millions of dollars, personally available. I don't have, a lot of that stuff. But so the thing is that like, how come I know I can predict things and know things that these people just don't know? You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at what they're interested in, and I'm like, that was like disproven X amount of years ago, or it's not going to work. And then but I think I'll look at like these projects, that people come up with and they I'm thinking like that's never going to work, but they're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into it supposedly. Uh maybe I'm just like I'm missing something. And then, it implodes because, for various reasons and I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense." Um and I don't know. I just feel like that maybe I can actually do something here. So anyway, there is a granular plan which is being carried out. I guess I can't really talk about it too much. Maybe I can. Maybe I'm just being too, absurdly secretive for no reason. But in any case, we'll find out pretty soon. So we'll get to that point. I'll figure out how to split up the demographics and NHANES and all that kind of stuff. There's things to do to actually come up with uh, an understanding of the nature of aging at a sort of a practical, granular level. Um, and I guess that's what I'm doing at this moment. Uh, cool. All right.